Hello, friends. It is just a cold, rainy, windy day in April in St. Louis. And so I've been creating just a short series of videos to just help teachers with some of the things that we were talking about last week when we were talking about getting our students ready for independent time that they'll be doing, where we want them to transfer all that we've been teaching them as a reader and a writer into summer and leading those readerly and writerly lives all summer long. So we talked about what are the habits of a writer earlier, and now I want to talk to you about like now what, much like what we did with reading. We'll talk for just a minute about like now that I know the habits of a writer or some of the habits of a writer, what do I really kind of want to do or get ready for? Well, I can tell you a predictable problem that your students are going to have is generating ideas. And so they're going to have lots of difficulty generating ideas. All kids have problems with this. And so some of the things that you'll notice when they struggle with generating ideas is they have a hard time getting started or attending to their writing, and they lack volume and they'll lack focus. So something that I like to teach into is asking kids, like, when they think about things that they love, I want them to think about people that they love, places that they love, things that they love. Think about and just kind of create a list. It'd be beautiful to put that alongside their identity web or close by. Think about things, passions that they have, like passions of things that they just absolutely adore and then absolutely dislike. Like create, like I'm passionately against that team. So things that they just absolutely dislike. I think it's pretty fun to see like about how students feel about maybe like broccoli or cauliflower. If you ask my son, it'd be green beans. I'm not dissing vegetables because I'm a huge vegetable fan. I love them. But sometimes when you teach young boys or girls, that they'll talk to you about their dislike of some of the vegetables they have to eat. Another thing that you could do to help them with generating ideas is talking with about things that they do or things that they know a lot about. Like they all have something to teach us. I can tell you that I know absolutely nothing about TikTok, and I bet you there are a lot of kids out there that could teach me about how to create a TikTok video, what TikTok is, how to follow people on TikTok. I know that on Instagram, I don't understand the difference between a story and a post. And like, why can't I like a story? It's all just too much. But there are kids out there that can teach me a lot about that in Minecraft and how to play soccer or how to play the violin. Lots of things they can teach me. So help them generate ideas like that. As you're helping them with that, listen with awe and wonder. Like, what a gift is it that we get to hear about our students and things that they love and passions that they have and things that they know a lot about or that they do a lot. That is truly a gift. And it helps us build relationships. So be in awe as you're listening to students talk about that. Show interest. Teach them how they can use this to generate like booklets, generate books, generate pieces, generate lists from this and their identity webs, and then show them what kind of tools that would help them do this, be able to transfer this to other teach them how to transfer these ideas to all different types of genres and then different tools that they can use to help them transfer. Like when I think about anchor charts, sometimes I will talk to students about how they could elaborate by telling micro stories inside an opinion piece, and they can do that same thing inside like an information piece. And in those micro stories, they could show, not tell, which is something they can do in narrative. So like there's transference from one genre for to another. You could talk about people that you love, and you could tell us a lot that you know. You could teach us a lot that you know about them. So think about, like, if you have students that have like people that they have mentors or people they look up to, or they could tell a personal narrative or a narrative, write a story about them, or they could give an opinion piece. Teach students how they can take these ideas and use them across the genres. Something else that you'll notice is that students are going to predictable problems struggle with drafting. And so, what you'll notice, the ways that you'll know that they're struggling with drafting is that there's not a lot of volume. They don't maybe have a lot of focus, maybe struggle with elaboration or organization, and then it could lack um, elaboration. So something that's really helpful is just having lots of talk time. Just like have somebody you could talk through it, or talk it out to yourself, or kind of act it out. And then teach students like one of the teach them how to plan. So one of the things that I like to do, and you can probably tell that I do it a lot, is like I'll touch and tell. I can touch and tell across pages, or I use my fingers. I'm like, okay, so if the first thing I'm going to do is this, and then I'm going to do this, and I'll touch and tell even using my fingers. And so that's something that will start in early childhood. And I am 49 years old and I still touch and tell. So it's something that works for all ages and all students. Even in their planning, you teach them how to sketch before they write, just to kind of like sketch out some ideas that they might have for their planning. Another thing that I do is I teach students about how they could create. I'm going to shift this over, a table of contents that they could create a table of contents for like a chapter book, or for an information book, or for a persuasive book as well. And that can be really helpful when students need help with planning. And then paper choice is really important. So I don't always use the same kinds of paper when I'm writing. It really just kind of depends. And so sometimes I do want like a picture box on my paper, or I'll take a Post-it and use that to sketch out, just like a Post-it, and put it on my notebook paper. Teach students, you'll see me a lot use plain white paper and just write, like start just like drafting or jotting down notes and ideas on a plain paper before I get to like a formal piece that I'm going to be writing. So that paper choice is really helpful for students to know that it doesn't always look the same. So you want to teach students too, like, how do I access these materials over the summer? So some of the things that you could consider as a teacher or a building is you could have like different types of paper that kids could print off at home if they had access to that. You could make sure students have notebooks that are at home if they don't have those. You could send home just plain white paper in booklets for your little students. You could send home just like tons of paper that you've printed out or had access to. Don't throw it in the recycling bin. Send that home with kids so that they can spend their summer writing. And then I know there are lots and lots of kids that are writing digitally. And so that's a really beautiful way to make sure that kids are writing, and then make sure they have access to your anchor charts that you've taught them, the checklists that they've been using. Make sure that they have access to writing utensils when they get home, and maybe a variety of them. Like I said, I like Flair pens. Some people like Flair pens, some people like pencils. If they have pencils, make sure they have those little pencil sharpeners. So just try to help set students up for success when they go off to do this work all summer long. What we know is if we can lift the level of a student's writing, it lifts their level as a reader. So we're not asking for perfection from them. We just want them to just write, and enjoy it, and have some fun with it, and see how it is real world and relevant in their lives. So I hope that you found this helpful. Have a great day.